would there be like a different taste if you were to desalinate water from a different state?
Um, Probably not that normal people would notice. The taste of desal water compared to the imported water is noticeable. Most of us can tell the difference. But one desal supplied to another, I don't think that most people would be able to tell.
Oh, and would it taste different if you were to desalinate, like using a different method?
This is such a good question. I never thought about this. Another method, the only other really big different method to produce desalination is thermal desal. Have you heard about that?
Yeah. You
When they
heat
heat the water and,
yeah.
it evaporates and it's captured.
Yeah.
I don't think it would taste very different to the normal person, but I'm just not sure. Because it would still be the water molecules, and it would still need the conditioning afterwards with minerals added in.
Okay.
So I think it would be about the same.
Okay. And then would there be a cost if you were to shut down the facility?
Yes, if something really crazy happened and we couldn't operate the plant, yes, because the plant still, it costs money to build, it still has to be paid for.
Yeah.
It's like if you build a house and then you don't actually move into it, you still have to pay everything it costs to build that house.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then
Does that make sense?
yes. And then I have just 3 more questions left. The first one is, what are all the layers in a reverse osmosis membrane made out of?
Well, I thought you might ask this question and I forgot to look it up. It's made of a very specialized, it's not a kind of plastic, but it's a manufactured material for the membrane itself. The membrane is what the water molecules have to pass through. Then there's spacer materials in between them. I think you probably saw that in the diagrams that you probably researched.
Yeah.
And then there's an envelope, which the water doesn't pass through, that kind of separates the different layers. I am sorry, I don't know what those are made of.
Oh, okay.
If I can figure that out, I will call you back. How about that?
Okay, thank you. And then, I also want to know, like, what is the difference between distillation and reverse osmosis?
Well, distillation, by that, I think you're referring to the thermal process.
Yeah.
So one of the big differences in terms of just the logistics of it is that distillation takes more energy.
Yeah.
And so it's not used in Northern California because of the energy expense.
Mm-hmm.
So with distillation, you're heating the water, causing it to condense or evaporate so that it can be captured separate from the salt molecules.
Yes.
I'm not, we haven't even really studied it that closely because we know it's not practical for where we live because we do not have supplies of power that make it affordable.
Okay.
Way too expensive.
Yeah. Okay, and then this is my last question. What is the reason for choosing the location of this plant?
Yeah, that's a really good question too. Well, when you're looking at building a desal plant, you need several different things. You need the land, you need a good portion of property that you can develop. to the source of water, to the ocean.
Yeah.
And you need a way to draw water into the plant and to then send the concentrated brine back out. And this location in Carlsbad was selected at the power plant because there was land that the power plant could offer up, could allow the diesel plant to use. But more importantly, the power plant already had a system to bring water in from the ocean into its plant. It had an intake system to take water in from the ocean. It also had an outtake system to send the water back out to the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And so the advantage of using this location is that the power plant chose to allow the desal plant to use those same facilities. So the desal plant didn't have to make them from scratch. And that was kind of a big deal because there are pretty strong environmental laws in the state of California that make it challenging for a new plant to draw water out of the ocean.
Yeah.
Environmental laws are there to protect marine life.
Mm-hmm.
And so by using somebody else's system, that made it a little bit easier to get this project approved. But you may know from your parents that we do realize that the power plant is going away. And so the desal plant has always planned for the future when we would need our own seawater intake and discharge or outtake
Yeah.
system.
Okay. And I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity to do this interview.
It has been my pleasure. Do you want to take a look at your questions and notes and see if there's anything else that I need to explain better or explain a second time?
I just wanted to know like one more time. I didn't really get this question number 3. How does the seawater in the reverse osmosis get pushed up into the clean water? So like.
Okay. So to explain to me what you're trying to understand. Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Are you okay? So tell me the question again. What you want to understand?
Yeah, like how does the seawater in the reverse osmosis get pushed up into the clean water?
Into the clean water?
Yes.
You mean how does water from the plant get over to the pipes that carry clean water?
Yes.
So I'm not sure this answers your question, but I'll try it. If this doesn't work, we'll try again, okay?
Yeah.
When desal water is produced, and we have what we call product water, if the final product is done, we've got this nice, clean drinking water in Carlsbad. It needs to be sent someplace else so that it can reach consumers.
Yeah.
So there's a new pipeline that's 54 inches across that was built to deliver the water from the desal plant over to a connection point in the city of San Marcos, where another large underground pipeline, or a couple, 3 pipelines actually, were already in the ground. Because it's not enough to just make the water, you have to send it to the people who need it. And so by using this underground pipeline in San Marcos, the water authority is able to get that water to almost everybody in San Diego County. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Is it something else?
No, that answers it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, thank you.
And then there was the question you were also asking about how much water is in the tank.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 2.5 million gallons. this again because I just made a math error.
Oh.
Sometimes I think I need to take math again. Okay. So the water that tank holds, could water that's in that the tank can hold could supply about 20,000 people for a day.
Oh, okay.
But bear in mind that it has enough for 20,600 people. But then that water is pumped out, and then it's filled back up. That thing,
Yeah.
very shortly by another 2.5 million gallons.
Yeah.
So altogether, it gets filled up and then shipped off and filled up and shipped off throughout the day.
Okay.
But the answer is it holds 2.5 million gallons, and that's enough for about 20,000 people for a day.
Okay, thank you.
Any other doubts or any other answers that weren't quite clear?
No, I got to know.
Okay, so the other question that I wasn't sure about is what the membrane
Yeah,
elements are
membrane.
made of.
Yeah.
So I'll look at my notes, and if I can figure that out, I will call you back. How about that?
Okay, thank you.
When is your project due?
My project is due